In commentary today for his debut behind the microphone, it's the aforementioned Ross Muir. Welcome, Ross.
Good afternoon, everyone. What a fantastic group we've got on today. When the draw came out, it was certainly the one that caught my attention. Wow, what a group. 4 fantastic players. I'm sure we're in line for some fantastic games today. Lots of quick fire play, lots of big breaks.
And as you were reminded of yesterday, Ross, this format is unforgiving.
Oh, absolutely. Any sort of slow start, you're up against it right from the off. Yeah, I think first match is really crucial, and probably 9 times out of 10 dictates if you've got a chance of actually qualifying out the group or not. So with my poor start yesterday, I sort of knew I was right up against it, and yeah, just overall, you know, there's always going to be a bit of rustiness kicking off the season, first event of the season. So with a tournament under my belt, hopefully now more improved play for the rest of the season.
And of course, it's very nice that you've now got a 2-year card after winning that European Amateur, so that takes pressure off in itself.
Absolutely, and you know, I've had a previous stint on the Pro Tour. I've sort of analysed where I feel I went wrong in the previous stint. So this time, you know, I feel like I'm much better prepared, and yeah, hopefully, you know, things can progress, and I can start getting some good results in tournaments.
Well, we wish you well. Now then, let's concentrate on Trump Evans, and although he's done so much in the game, Judd Trump, I think it's fair to say he's got a point to prove this season, because last season, by his immense standards, wasn't the best.
I just think the standard's so tough these days. It can be a lot down to, you know, one flick in a match is the difference between winning and losing a match. I watched quite a lot of Judd's games last season, and there was parts where he wasn't in top form, but you know, we've seen it before. He's won tournaments, he's had many great results, not playing his best. I think he's a very resilient player. He's got a lot of different things in his armoury he can call upon, and yeah, I wouldn't be surprised this season if he has a fantastic season, lots of great results and lots of trophies to go with it.
I think it's the best compliment you can pay Trump, to say that he had a low-key season by his standards when you consider he won the Masters. Absolutely,
yeah. I mean, for me, he's right up there with one of the best the game's ever had. You know, it's his style of play. He's yeah. I mean, in regards to entertainment factor, for me, you know, he's got to be right up there, right at the top. And yeah, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if he adds another world title or two in the coming years. He's a fantastic player, and when he's on top form, he can beat anyone and win any tournament.
As for Reanne Evans, well, this is her second season of the tour card. And that's the first mistake.
A little bit of work to do here. I think his plan will be to try and remove the red closest to the black spot, and potentially the one to the left. It depends if the black would pass. With those two reds removed, it could quickly become a very good scoring opportunity. He's got a couple of quite precise shots to play. This could be the first of them.
Six.
This is a first for these two. Never played each other on the Pro Tour before.
7.
And by the way, for all of the many fans of Judd Trump,
Brown ball.
we will be conducting a competition a little later on in the day.
Judd Trump 7.
The prize will be 2 tickets for Judd Trump's group in the Champion of Champions at Bolton in November. Our Quizmaster General Dave Hendon is going to be in for the second match, so he will pose the question and you can send in your entries then. So 2 tickets for Judd Trump's introduction to the Champion of Champions at Bolton in November. That's the reward for the winner.
Half chance here for Reanne. Good opening red required, but if she can get it, the balls are sitting reasonable for a break here.
One.
And now they're sitting reasonable for Trump. I think it's very important for the game for Judd to start winning regularly again because,
6.
as you say, Ross, he's so entertaining in the prime of his career.
7.
And when he plays his best, he's mesmerising.
Absolutely. I mean, probably Ronnie, Judd, you know, even Jimmy White. There's not many players who have that appeal and that draw. I can imagine a lot of snooker fans probably tune in just for these guys playing. You know, the attacking, the break build and the fast play. I think we can add Luca, the world champion, into that equation too. Really exciting players to watch.
13.
Yeah, wasn't that World Championship something else? So many stories. And I thought Brassell was simply outstanding. When he beat Mark Williams early, I thought, that shows to me he can handle this. And he went all the way.
Played absolutely superb the whole event.
20.
I think it was one of the highest 50-plus breaks there's been in the World Championships. Not sure if it's the most, but certainly
21.
top 3 anyway. And you know, it shows to sustain that scoring power over the longevity of the World Championships. You absolutely deserve to win it, and fantastic for the game. And hopefully now it can create new avenues in mainland Europe and
28.
draw in a whole new snooker supporter.
Now it's really interesting,
Judd
you
Trump
know.
28.
A lot of players have been missing slowly rolled reds to that pocket into the far jaw. Late last week we saw a couple of balls go what they call uphill, and I'm just wondering, well, having seen that, I think that one did.
1.
I believe so. I noticed a couple of times yesterday during my match, also the black pocket. There was just a tiny roll uphill as well. When you're playing the ball slow, then yeah, you know, that can be the difference between potting and missing. That one there was quite a considerable turn by the looks of it. Possibly a ball and a half high.
6.
By the way, earlier on when I was talking about Reanne Evans' status on the tour, my English
7.
wasn't the best. So she's basically starting out on a new 2-year card now. She almost lost her status on tour at the British Open. It was a battle basically between her and Ngo Yi. And Evans was just about okay, but not on that shot.
Foul. 7 Reanne Evans. 6. Judd Trump.
quite a big room for error there. That could be a sign of just not accelerating through the ball quite enough early doors. I was the same for myself yesterday. You know, early season, these little sort of precise, nippy shots, they can be quite tough, and timing has to be bang on to judge them. So if Reanne picked up on that, then I'm sure she might not make that mistake again in this match.
Well, that was excellent. That was a Judd Trump special, not just knocking in the red, but holding the cue ball with consummate ease. These Rasson tables, Ross, they use for the ranking version of the Championship League, also the invitation version and the Champion of Champions. They play differently to the star tables that are used for the majority of tournaments. And one thing I've found with them, it's very easy indeed to screw back.
Oh yeah, really, really reactive. There's a couple of shots that I feel like you're saying screw back, and there's a couple of shots over distance with sides. I feel that they play slightly different to stars. So yeah, you know, a wee bit tough from this event as well, not having the opportunity to practice on a Rasson table. I think most players these days will practice on star tables, so you know, even your first match in this, it can be getting used to those little differences that could be so crucial during a game.
Judd Trump,
well, we
14.
always talk about snooker being a game of fractions, and as you say, the nuance of different tables can make a big difference.
Definitely. My initial visit to the table yesterday against Nopon, I've had a bit of a nightmare trying to control the cue ball. I was getting so much reaction out of the ball, so I picked up on that quite early, and yeah, just tried to make a little adjustment. And I think this first frame of the day is really crucial in picking up these small differences to try and give you an advantage going into the rest of the group. It looks like that's a big blue in the middle of the table. Don't believe Reanne can get through to this. Makes the safety shot quite tricky here. I think the target might be behind brown, and pink as well I think could be a blocking target, but needs to be very precise here. This is a good effort. Very good effort. I think she's played it very well. That could have Judd snookered.
No other thought here but containment.
Foul.
That will be put back.
For Reanne Evans.
Could be a little bit of a tricky safety shot here. Initial glance at the table, I'm not seeing too much other than the roll-up. I think if Reanne plays back to balk, it's fraught with danger. Playing to the top cushion as well might leave Judd a couple of opportunities here. I think it might just be a little roll-up to the ball just to contain.
40 in front, Trump, but mindful that the colours are all there. The reds reasonably positioned also. We saw yesterday quite a lot of frames, one from nowhere. It was an extraordinary match involving Rod Lawler and Michael Holt. Holt won the third frame from over 50 behind, then lost the fourth from being 50 odd in front.
Wow, yeah, those are the frames that really hurt during a match. But to have a sort of counter punch and do one back, that's pretty impressive mindset after losing a frame from 50 in front. Fantastic pot there.
1.
Those are always very tough against the nap. Need to cue it very, very central ball. Any sort of side spin against the nap could throw the ball. Excellent timing on that one as well. Could be a little bit unlucky here.
Yeah,
7.
Evans discovering what all the players who've so far competed in this tournament have found out. Screwing back on this table. It flies back. That white flies back.
Reanne Evans, 7. One. Seven.
It's been bits and pieces, but now frame ball is coming up. A little undercooked, but 48 ahead, 43 on. Evans needs a couple of snookers. If this
15.
red goes in, it really is end of frame.
$16.
Asking a lot. Position was almost impossible.
22.
I've seen Judd pot these before. Not on this occasion, but he'll be delighted to get the first
Judd
frame
Trump,
on the board.
22.
I'm sure he would have learned a
Twenty
lot of
seeded
important
first
things in that frame in
Judd
regards
Trump.
to how the table plays, and definitely a lot more probably to his advantage for the rest of the group.
Yeah, it was scrappy, but it was to Trump's advantage that he kept things tight. Evans missed a few, and that's why Judd Trump leads 1-0. The first frame on table
Thank
one
you.
of the day
Second
was a
frame.
little disjointed,
Judd Trump,
but it
Reanne.
significantly outpaced the first frame of the day on table two. Joe Perry and Stuart Carrington are involved in a real battle over there. The opening frame still going. In fact, 9 reds remain on the table. As is always the case, if you want to see all of the action on table 2 throughout the day, it's available on the Matchroom Multisport YouTube channel. Evans a little lucky there. Having missed that red, she might have left something easier than this.
It's nice to see how positively she played. She played it with confidence, knowing that if she got it, she was on blue or bot colour. That's a good sign of confidence.
1.
Oh, how about that?
What a result. You'll be delighted with that.
Just skimming off the bunch, ideally onto the pink. So Ross, I was reading yesterday in researching for your games that in your youth you were a very good goalkeeper.
7.
Yeah, I took it very serious. It was at that time. It was my main focus. It was my main sport. It was what I had dreams of, achieving, trying to qualify and play for my team Hearts.
8.
I loved going out on a nice wet windy day and putting the graft in. But yeah, and unfortunately, I had a reoccurring wrist injury, and yeah, as a kid, very unpleasant,
13.
and that's what made me sort of choose Q Sports in the end. I used to play pool
14.
in Edinburgh with my dad on weekends, and yeah, when football became a little bit unpleasant, then I started playing 9-ball for just a short while, and then one day my dad said, "Do you want a shot at snooker?" And I haven't really looked back since.
20.
Trump switches
21.
to right-handed. Pretty much everyone does that nowadays.
It's a nice tool to have in your armoury. I think Judd does it quite a lot more than other players. But it's nice to be able to cue the ball and time the ball so sweetly. Left-handed, right-handed,
23.
it gives a lot of other opportunities to play shots. Whereas with the rest, some shots might not be quite as comfortable. So fantastic opportunity to just get a little bit extra out of some shots. That's went a
24.
little bit wrong for Judd here. I think we might be seeing a safety shot coming up.
Are you ambidextrous?
I try. I'm certainly not the best with my left hand. I've made a 50 once, but I don't know how brave I'd be to take it out in a crucial moment in a match. Certainly in practice, I give a couple of balls a try, but
Yellow ball.
not to a great deal of success.
Judd Trump 24.
On a few occasions, Jack Lazowski, who's got so much talent, it's a joke. He has played right-handed shots that have been ill-advised. He just doesn't seem quite stable enough, particularly when he's playing with power, and he's missed a couple at crucial moments.
Yeah, I think a lot of players maybe do one lineup a day, something like that, just to play a few shots with the opposite hand. You never know when it could help you in a frame. I've tried it myself, but just can't seem to really improve too much with my opposite hand. I think a lot of players like Judd, Ronnie, they just make it look ridiculously easy with the opposite hand. Such a amazing skill to have.
Now this is troublesome.
Foul and a miss for Judd Trump.
I think there might be a red at the bottom of the pack here. Not sure what sort of angle Judd's got. He might be able to push through to get up for pink or blue. I think that might decide whether he takes it on. He is taking it on.
One. 7.
Didn't necessarily want the flick on the red that's closest to the blue. I think he got that because he caught the pink slightly thick, even though he potted it. But problem resolved,
8.
if it was a problem in the first place.
Back in nice position here. Very good chance to win this second frame. I think the pack gradually will open itself. The little pack of 4 reds beside the pink. As he pots one, it'll clear the other. So great opportunity here.
11. 12.
Have you played Judd much over the years?
I can recall one meeting. I think it was last season in the English Open. It might have been last 16 in Milton Keynes. I think I had a good break to open it up, but then I kept my seat nice and warm for the next 4 frames. Fantastic player when he's in full flow. He can score very quickly and rattle off frames
17.
very consecutive and very quickly as well, and it can be quite intimidating sitting in your seat thinking, how am I meant to contain this? It's went slightly wrong for him there.
Judd trump, 17.
Playing safe was definitely the way forward, and also knocking another red safe helped. When you've got a sizable lead, make it as difficult as possible for your opponent to reply.
That's a nice reply there from Reanne. Very good weight on the cue ball. Might force Judd into removing one of these reds on the right side cushion into open play. I think the danger here could be possibly flicking the black off the side cushion as well. Looking at the angle from that red, I think he's opting to choose a different red for that reason. This could be a very difficult shot if it's dead straight for Reanne here. Playing with topspin, there might be a slight bit of angle on it. Oh, there wasn't.
Foul. 4. Judd trump.
To the uninitiated, that looks a little embarrassing. But as Ross said, that kind of shot from that kind of distance, anyone can do that.
You're just trying to pinch a fraction on the pocket, and you know, with all the hours of practice that we all put in trying to cue straight, it's probably a negative thing on those type of shots.
Foul. 4. Reanne Evans.
A much more unlucky in off from Trump.
Fantastic pot, but I think not just quite enough side on the cue ball. Not too big a damage done though. Fantastic pot there from Reanne.
1.
It's going to take quite a precise positional shot to keep this break going. Brown possibly twice across for the red into middle. Oh, tough shot that was.
Reanne Evans. 1.
Very nice indeed. The red that Trump developed will be the red that's frame ball.
I fancy him for this one,
6.
Phil.
You'll make a commentator yet, Ross. Great call.
That should see Judd winning the second frame. Still not firing on all cylinders
12.
yet, but I think, again, he's still learning about how the table plays. I fully expect him in his next two matches to be
13.
playing a lot better. No sizable breaks as of yet, but you know, this is getting the cue and arm going, and yeah, he's still winning the frame, so doing a good job.
His next outing is against Jimmy White in this
9.
session. He's third up.
$20.
And with the pressure off, it is all so easy.
24. $27.
No exhibition
31.
shots as of yet. That could be a sign that Judd's trying to just focus and get that cue arm going. As soon as I say it, he plays an exhibition shot. What a shot that is. Just marginally overcut that pink, but
36. A frame. Judd Trump.
No fireworks from Judd Trump, but he wins each of the first two frames pretty comfortably. He leads Reanne Evans 2-0. In your first match in one of these Bedvictor Championship League
Reanne
groups,
Evans to break.
you want to do three things in ascending order. First off, you want to win. Secondly, you'd love to win 3-0. And then the cherry on the cake would be to win 3-0 and make a big break just in case. That is the deciding issue at the end of the group. Well, Trump's doing okay in the first two regards. Can he win 3-0 with a big score?
quite a good chance here for Reanne. A little bit of a tough opening pot, but cue this one nicely, and the balls are all sitting there now. That red's collided with the pack.
One.
Just another ball roll off that cushion would have made this shot so much easier. It's very tough to manoeuvre the cue ball from that position. Might be needing to leave herself a bit of distance from a bot colour. Blue's a very difficult shot. I think maybe brown, where Reanne's just put her cue there on the side cushion, could be the best position to try and continue this break.
Five.
When she gets down, you'll notice that Evans has become quite left-eyed. That's the dominant eye look. The first two pots,
Reanne
okay.
Evans, 5.
The third shot, way off target.
Couple options here for Judd. Red to the black pocket and one to middle. Depends what he wants to do with the cue ball.
One.
I think that shot just underlined the swiftness of this table. Conditions are beautiful, they really are. But you need to be delicate, you need to be in control and
4.
have touch.
I think Judd's target for this positional shot will be the red on the black spot. If he can get on that and then the subsequent black, it could really open up this opportunity to be in a frame 1-1. This looks very good.
7.
Just marginally undercooked. I think he's got to take the higher one.
8.
I believe black spot's occupied here. It could go up onto the blue spot. Still a frame winning opportunity.
$15. $16. $22.
Trump's
23.
always had an affinity with the Championship League. 2 years before he really broke through by winning the China Open in 2011, he won his first Championship League. Successful again in 2014 and 2016. That's the invitation
29.
version. And in last season's invitation version of the Championship League, he was runner-up to John Higgins. So
30.
often we've seen him play spellbinding snooker behind closed doors in this event.
$36. $37.
Hasn't won the ranking version though, and would love to get his season off to the perfect start by doing so.
43. 44.
I think there's still one red that pots in the middle of that pack. Nice positional shot required. Oh, he's opted to go into them. And he's on one to middle pocket.
49.
Now, because of that peculiar roll, he doesn't want to play this slowly. It might bend away, hit that far jaw and stay out. And I think he'll be mindful of that after
50.
a previous ball eluded him. So he played that one at reasonable pace.
Played that nicely, and that should have wrapped up this frame, I think.
And as I said at the start of the
57.
frame, now it's a case of trying to build as big a break as possible
58.
to give yourself more ammunition in terms of potentially topping the group when all is said and done.
Nice opportunity for a century here. All balls go, no need for any cannons.
65. 66.
I think all players set themselves a century target for each season. I certainly know I have for this season. So it's nice to get a nice early doors century just to kick off the season.
72.
One of the most prolific
73.
scorers you're ever likely to see, Trump. I'm glad to hear that, Ross, because I think it's really good when a player has pride, not just in results, but pride of performance.
79.
It's a different perspective for me this season. I think previous
80.
seasons have not really set such a stringent century target. It's sort of just came, you know. Of course, I've always tried to make centuries, but this year I've actually set myself some numerical targets for, you know, various parts of the season, and
87.
you know, I'm hoping that can be something that can just give me a little bit extra this season. You know, I made one yesterday.
88.
It was probably the only positive thing in my play, and yeah, you know, I'm sure Judd will have something similar to that.
Well, century number one of the season
95.
is 2 pots away.
97.
I think after the first couple of frames, it was only just a matter of time
100.
before Judd started his scoring boots. This is great positional play he's played in this break. A couple of awkward situations that he's dealt with very well,
104.
and he's certainly timing the ball fantastic now.
Yeah, I think an early ping to right middle was the shot
109.
for me that set things up. Just took that one very
109
quickly.
frame a match.
Judd Trump, though,
Judd Trump.
has made the ideal start to the day. Not just winning 3-0 and with a century included. Judd Trump defeats Reanne Evans by 3 frames to 0.